again, and today we have our guest Jahaziel here. We are going to be um, having a discussion together. So Jahaziel, wherever you are, how are you, sir?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there.
All good.
Oh, good. I'm hanging in
Uh,
there.
How are things on the Arsenal camp right now?
Since City lost, we are a bit okay now. Since City lost, we're a bit good. We're a
So
bit
you're
good.
saying that your happiness is dependent on City? Is that
Only for this weekend. Only
only for
for
this
this weekend.
weekend?
Only for this weekend.
But is it hasn't that been the case, in the last 2 seasons though, that your happiness or misery has depended on City?
I wouldn't say so because last season we're neck for neck. We went neck for neck until the end of the season.
Right,
Um, I mean, the previous 2 seasons we're on top of the league
right.
for, I mean, a record number of days before City, unfortunately, and before Saliba got injured and City then went ahead to take the trophy from us. So that's not really our fault. We're just unfortunate last 2 seasons.
Right. Okay. That is quite unfortunate that you weren't able to win the title.
Mhm.
Which you so much record number of days someone is saying. Okay, so Sergio Haziel, we are going to be speaking about Arsenal. What I
Yeah,
think someone is saying Netflix club.
guys, relax, guys, relax, relax, relax,
Let me
relax.
wear my glasses again. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about a few things regarding Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I personally have major doubts that you're still title, contenders. I think you should. I mean, I've already said this to you, which I know you very very much disagree with, but
Hmm.
I think the Arsenal probably wouldn't be able to replicate that kind of let's say challenge they mounted against City last season or last 2 seasons. Yeah. If I'm being honest, I feel like Arsenal are a bit weaker as predicted. I told you this about in May. Um, you know, um, but I think maybe Arsenal fans are not exactly, you know, in agreement with that. What do you say?
First of all, I'll start off by saying City and Arsenal both have had deplorable stats to this season. City
Right.
are not at their best, Arsenal are not
Yeah.
at their best.
Yeah.
Currently, what we see is that Liverpool are doing really well as compared to City and Arsenal.
Right.
And I mean, one would argue that it's because City have had a lot of injuries, Arsenal have had a lot of injuries. But the main difference between City and Arsenal is that City have a replacement for De Bruyne. Maybe not at the same level as De Bruyne, but they have players who can at least get close to that level. So you have Kovacic who has stepped up, you have Foden who has stepped up, you have Gundogan who could step up, right? The only missing piece that they really have is Rodri, right? And they don't really have someone who can, I mean, replicate what Rodri does. When you juxtapose that with Arsenal, there's a big problem because we don't have any player who is similar to Odegaard standards. And the only player that I think could actually do that is maybe someone like Nwaneri, but he's a kid, he's only 17 years old, so we can't rely on him. What I think will happen is that if I get back to your question, what I think it is that Arsenal and City have had slow starts, which is to be expected. Last season, Arsenal had a slow start, City had a slow start. Then when it went to from January going, Arsenal only lost one match, only drew one match, then City won all their matches and drew one match, and that was it. And they won the title. So it's expected that Arsenal will start slow. It's expected that City will start slow. From
Okay.
December going, that's when we begin to look at the league very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting to know. But I just want to reiterate some of the things you have told me. I mean, in our own personal conversations,
Hmm.
I just want to be sure if that is still the case as far as your point of view is concerned. I know you have said in the past that Arteta and Pep Guardiola are on the same pedestal. Is that something that you still think is accurate?
I would if Okay, so let me clarify that. Last season, I said they are close to the same at the same level. But if we look at it like in terms of the pedigree of both managers, obviously Pep Guardiola is one of the greatest, arguably the greatest manager to have ever been in the Premier League. But I was talking about last season specifically. Arteta did so well. If we want to stretch the argument, we could say City had better players, have world-class players, and Arsenal maybe don't even have a world-class player yet. But Arteta is still managing to take these players, get the maximum performance from these players, and they're able to challenge Pep Guardiola. So last season, yes, Arteta was very close to Pep Guardiola. He did tremendously well. And just so you know, we haven't lost to City since last season. We've played City 4 times, or is it 5 times now? And we haven't lost a single game. We've beaten City once, and they haven't beaten us. So, yeah.
So
So no, if you look at
yeah.
the pedigree of the manager, definitely Arteta is not there yet. Arteta has not won trophies. He hasn't won the EPL. He's only won an FA Cup and I think a couple of community shields. But if we're talking about last season, we had the best defense. We had the best attack. So last season, yeah, Arteta was getting there. And this season, we wait to see. Talk to me in March. Then we'll talk about that.
But you repeatedly have said to me that I rate Pep Guardiola way too ahead of Arteta. But with what you've just said, hasn't my argument always been substantial, especially with the accolades you've mentioned with regards to Pep Guardiola and the absence of it of them for Arteta?
So that's what I'm saying, that this argument is really based on perspectives. If you talk about looking at them holistically or taking their managerial careers as a whole, then yeah, like Guardiola is really there and Arteta is really down there.
Right.
If you're looking at it based, maybe let me say on form, based on the past 2 seasons and the past 3 seasons, I mean, Arteta is the only manager taking Pep Guardiola to the last day. Klopp hasn't done that in 3 seasons, so he didn't do that. Now he's not there anymore. This season, I'm sure he'll do that again. So he's the closest. He's the closest to Pep right now. But if you look at the pedigree of if you look at it like the managerial career, then I can't say that. That would be very blasphemous. But if I'm talking about currently, not now, based off last season, because right now I don't have much to say. Yeah.
All right. So if we are talking about, let's take last season in isolation, right? So you're saying, if I'm summarizing what you've just said, that in the last season, Arteta has been, let's say, on in the environs as far as levels are concerned with Pep Guardiola. Is that correct?
Yeah, if we talk about last season, we take last season in isolation. Yes, I would say that definitely.
So if we extend it a little bit into the conversation into this season, would you say that is still the case?
I wouldn't want to get ahead of myself, so I wouldn't answer that question because we have just played 9 games or 10 games now. I really can't determine that because
no, insofar as we have played in the season, do you think that Arteta is still, because it's just 5 points difference, which
yeah. I mean,
okay.
if we talk about currently, then I wouldn't say that because Arsenal is not playing at their best at all. Like we're not good. City are better than us. Liverpool are better than us. I don't know if Liverpool are better than us, but Liverpool have better form right now. So I wouldn't say, I mean, Arteta is at the level of Guardiola this season because we've considered more than City. City have scored way more than us. So I would have to admit, unfortunately, but the season is still, we just started.
Still young. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
You did mention that injuries have played a significant role, especially with regards to Odegaard. Is that right? Now, injuries have played a significant role in marring your, let's say, overall approach with regards to winning games. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, with you putting Arteta so close, are you saying that he is the next, supposedly next best manager to Pep? Yeah, Pep Guardiola managed to win a lot of his games last season without Haaland, without KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, right? Kevin De Bruyne has been very injury prone.
Haaland didn't miss so many games last season, to be honest.
All right, Kevin De Bruyne, right?
You have Kevin De Bruyne. We can take
Kevin De Bruyne was out for a very long time, and still they managed to win the league. So what is the case with Arteta? With the case that, I mean, I know his main talismanic midfielder is absent, but if he is there with Pep at the pedestal, as far as managerial sophistication is concerned, why
Mhm.
is he not able to, let's say, make it through this torrid period, especially when now that he doesn't have his man?
So I would answer the question very simply. When you look at a team like Manchester City, if Kevin De Bruyne is not playing, they have Foden to step up, they have Kovacic to step up, they have Gundogan to step up. I mean, so they have players who could step up, or they have Bernardo Silva who could also play that Kevin De Bruyne role. I don't know if you're
Right,
getting me. So they have
right.
players who can actually almost, let me know, Kevin De Bruyne is maybe the best midfielder in the world right now. So let me not say who can play at the level of Kevin De Bruyne, but who can get close to Kevin De Bruyne's level and replicate what Kevin De Bruyne is supposed to do on the pitch. When you put it to Arsenal, who is a replacement for Odegaard? Trossard. Trossard is not even an attacking midfielder. He can't do close to what Odegaard does. Odegaard determines the press. Odegaard determines where the ball goes. Nwaneri is a kid. Today against Newcastle, Nwaneri came in. You can see that he's good. He's a talented player.
Right,
But you can see that he wasn't linking up play well with Bukayo Saka.
right.
Again, you look at our right wing. If Saka is injured, who steps in? Sterling. You see Sterling.
You say that with a smile, with
No, yeah, because I'm actually laughing. Like it's quite funny, but that's just the difference. If we're looking at in terms of the quality or caliber of players on the bench for Man City and comparing that with Arsenal, that's the difference. So Pep Guardiola has that luxury to say, okay, I don't have Kevin De Bruyne, I can just play Bernardo Silva there. Or
right.
Arteta has to keep on cracking his mind or cracking his brain. Can Trossard play that role? Okay, no, he can't. Can Nwaneri play that role? Now he makes Havertz. If you watch our matches now, Kai Havertz now drops into the midfield. That's the biggest problem because he's trying to find a way to bring Saka into the game. And if Kai Havertz does that, then who is now the number 9? No number 9. So the problem is we don't have the quality on the bench as compared to what City has. That's the
Okay.
biggest problem.
I will come back with a follow up on that. But before I do that, let's read some of the comments of some
All
of
right.
people following us. Yeah. There's Benny Ben here is saying that Arsenal were arguably injury free last season and they still fell short. Yeah, so that's something we're gonna brood on in a while. Um, Benny Ben also says, yeah, is Arteta a failure if he fails to win anything significant this year? Is that a yes or a no? Just give me one answer.
Yes, he'll be a failure if he fails to win anything significant this year. I agree.
Okay,
Definitely.
all right. Augustus says, City are not at their best, yet they are 2 points behind league leaders. So I think, he's trying to imply that if you're not at your best, you can still be within the conversation, which currently
But
Arsenal.
we're just
Okay,
5 points behind City and 7 points behind Liverpool. And honestly, I'm not even thinking about Liverpool. My eyes focus
okay,
on City.
okay. And Augustus says you're not at your best, but you are 7 points behind Liverpool. Arteta has FA Cup. Ten Hag has more trophies than Arteta in the same period.
Why is Ten
Okay,
Hag in this
okay.
conversation?
Augustus
I
says
mean,
again here that City played 10 games in all competitions without Haaland last season. Yeah,
mhm.
10. That's a lot. Um, Augustus also says from October to November, that's last season. France Magazine says Rodri, but you're here saying KDB. Yeah, so basically, I think he's saying that with regards to you saying that Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder in the world. I think he's
Mhm.
trying to say France Magazine says it's Rodri. So yeah, that's some of the things that some of the views some of our followers have. So which one would you like to take
I
on?
mean, the point that Augustus makes that Haaland was absent from October to November. They had Alvarez. City have got depth. Like even if Haaland is not there, Alvarez was there. So we can't. That's just the difference between Arsenal and Manchester City. So and again, yeah, Arteta needs to win a trophy, and he will. Definitely, he will.
Okay.
I don't like the Carabao, so forget that trophy. But I think he's going to get that one. But that's not what I'm looking for. I want the FA Cup. I want us to get our 15th FA Cup title. I want us to Champions League. No, we're not getting that. EPL, we could get that. I don't think we wouldn't. So that's what I want.
Okay. There was a bit of a technical hitch.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Yeah,
Okay,
you were
okay.
away for a while.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying that when you look at the period between October to November, as Augustus was saying, when Haaland was not available, Julian Alvarez stepped up. That's actually what I was saying. Can you hear me? No? So what's happening? Let me see. Okay, 1 second.
Arsenal were injury free last season and still fell short. That is one point that I would really like to get into. Arsenal were injury free last because Arsenal didn't have any major injuries last season. Saliba was there, everyone was there, but
Yeah,
still didn't. Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, we fell short by 2 points. Like Klopp went against Guardiola for 9 years and only won once. 9 years. Let's not forget that. We fell short by 2 points to Manchester City. That's just how difficult it is to go against Pep Guardiola. He's the best manager to ever do it. Maybe in the Premier League, I don't know. I don't want to talk about Ferguson, but I think Ferguson is better. That's an argument for another day. But
okay.
It's not as easy as it looks. I never understood what it takes to beat Pep Guardiola because at the time Liverpool and Man City were having that rivalry, Arsenal were in the trenches. But when we started playing against Pep for this past 3 seasons, I'm telling you, it takes a lot. Right now, most Arsenal fans think we are out of it because we lost to Newcastle. And we're 5 points down in just 10 games played, and we're actually having doubts because that's just what it means. There's no margin for error when you're playing against Pep Guardiola.
I mean, I like that you say that, yeah, and I also like your previous points where you said that our Man City have a lot of depth, right? Which is probably true.
Yeah.
But when you really think about it from a holistic point of view, or from let's say an overall point of view, you realize that Arsenal are actually a bigger club. Yeah, if you're talking in terms of a club, Arsenal are a bigger club than Manchester City. What is it that makes Manchester City capable of acquiring more talented players and have more depth than Arsenal?
116 charges. Let's not forget that. 116
Well,
charges.
we
We're
don't
just we're waiting for
we
we're
don't
waiting.
know anything until the start.
Yeah, but we're waiting for that.
Yeah.
We're waiting for that. But I think if I have to go back in time, we have to go all the way back to Wenger building the Emirates Stadium. I mean, we had to pay back all that money, and I think we're debt free in 2014, and that's when we now had to start building and start buying. And we've made very bad transfer, bought very like players who flopped. Like I mean, Pepe is one. We spent over 75 million pounds. You know, so it's been a process. It's been a process. Arteta came in, and he hasn't really got anything wrong with his transfers. Vieira was one player who maybe he got wrong to some degree, but we need to give that guy time. I think he'll come good with time. So
Are you
I
talking
think
or are you talking about?
no, I'm talking about him, Vieira, the player we bought. I don't know if Vieira, the guy who we've loaned now to FC Porto.
Yeah, Pablo. Yeah.
Yeah. So my point is that we are now getting there, but City have been doing that since 2009. They have been buying and buying and buying and buying. In 2009, we're not buying. We're trying to find ways to make up for the debt we incurred by, building the Emirates Stadium. So that could be my reason if I go back in time to see why we can't purchase as much as City can purchase.
Is it that Manchester City have owners who are more willing to spend on the playing body, or or is it that Arsenal have, let's say, owners who are a bit too frugal with their expenditure?
I wouldn't say that. I think it also has to do with financial fair play. We bought Declan Rice last season over what? Around 105 million pounds. That's a lot of money for a midfielder. And that just shows how much our owners are willing to spend. And these owners, I mean, they are winners. They won in the NFL, they won. They won
Yeah.
in NBA, they have won with the Nuggets. So they are winners. They actually have that desire to win. So I wouldn't say that. I think it still goes back to the fact that we are still building. We are worried about financial fair play more than maybe other teams. We don't want to make a mistake. And with time, we'll keep on getting players in. I know Gyökeres, we wanted to buy Gyökeres, but I think because of financial fair play, Arteta could not make that deal happen. But I'm thinking in the summer, we're definitely getting him in.
Okay, that's a good striker, by the way. If you got that striker, I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully, and a lot in your team. I think that's what you really need. You need a clinical forward. It's someone who can, take the game by the scruff of the neck and make it his. Just
Yeah.
change. Kai is doing what he can with his ability, what he has as a player, and his role, his traits. But obviously, I don't think he's really a natural number 9. Yeah. I mean, he's done tremendously well for what he's done, but yeah, I think that's one area you can definitely try to.
Yeah, we have to improve.
Yeah.
That's true.
The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is it possible that you know about Claudio Ranieri, right?
Yeah, Leicester
Claudio
City.
Ranieri was the first coach that Roman Abramovich hired when he bought the team, Chelsea. Ranieri managed so well to bring the team to a certain level. Chelsea, they were second in 2003. But Ranieri, Abramovich immediately foresaw that Ranieri was a good manager, but he was not the manager who could bring the team to the promised land. I'm talking about league titles and Premier League and Champions League titles. Yeah. Not that Ranieri was a bad coach, but it's just that, he was just not that, high level manager. Could it be that Arteta is just another Ranieri, and that you need your Jose Mourinho?
That's a very good question. It's a very good question. So I would answer by saying, to answer that question really depends on what we do this season and what we win this season. Because I feel this is a season that Arteta has no excuse. You have to get the FA Cup. Try to get the Premier League. It looks very difficult now because Liverpool are in good form. And I feel like this season, many teams are good. Nottingham Forest are good. Newcastle are good. Villa are good. It's only United that are not that good, but we'll talk about that later. Chelsea are good. I know that. But Arteta has come close like twice. Last
Yeah,
season against Aston Villa, that's what actually costed us the league.
yeah,
When you look at it, I was thinking if it was another manager like, let's say, Ancelotti or these good managers, the
yeah.
reason we lost to Aston Villa, I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay. The reason we lost to Aston Villa was that he made changes. He put Zinchenko, he put Gabriel Jesus when he had not done that from January all the way to March. Then he just decided that, okay, today I'm making changes. Another manager would not have done that, right? And that's what costed us the league by 2 points. And that was just it. But I wouldn't say I wouldn't know until this season ends, to be honest. I think the season hasn't started well,
Yeah,
but he's doing so well. I really respect Arteta. I think Arteta is one of the best tacticians in the Premier League, or one of the best tacticians even in the world. He's really brilliant. I always say if Arteta had the players, was managing Bayern Munich or managing Barcelona or even managing, Manchester City, he could be like, leading the Premier League by so many points. When you look at the Arsenal team, if you compare the players on face value, our players are not, or we say compare the players on paper, they're not there as compared to the names that Man City has or what Liverpool has. But That's just why Arteta is a good coach. So I think I'll have to wait. Let's see what he can do by the end of the season. If he gets an FA Cup, fine. We can go another season. Get Jokeres and let's see what we can do. But I think we can still win the league. Yeah, I think we can still win the league.
Oh, I was going to ask you. That was actually my next question. So, league, you think it's possible to win the league?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can still win the league. Odegaard will return, hopefully will return against Chelsea this Sunday, right?
Right.
I hope Arteta starts him. Arteta should not overthink again. Start the boy. Let's get the result. Once we go on a run, City don't look that good without Rodri. That's the only reason I'm having confidence that we just have to go on just a run, and that's it. We could win the league. I think by the end of the season, it will be City, Arsenal again, going neck for neck, trying to see who gets the title.
Why do you have absolutely no disregard for Liverpool?
I mean, I've told you this so many times. Last season, when Liverpool were I think 5 to 7 points clear, they were first on the table in February. I told you Liverpool are not going to win the league. You asked me why, and it's the same reason I'm going to give right now.
Yeah.
When the match that Liverpool played against Brighton today, if you watch that match, Liverpool's defense is not that good. Brighton had so many opportunities. It's so easy, even when we played against them, it's so easy to get the ball from your end to their box, the 18-yard box.
Well,
that's what they're saying.
Because they have the best defensive record in the league as we speak right now.
That's why they say stats. Stats can be so deceptive, because when you look at it, Liverpool actually conceding more opportunities than Manchester City and Arsenal. When you watch their games, they're conceding many opportunities, but just that the players are not scoring. And let me also say this: comparing the opponents Liverpool have had to face for these 10 games we've played,
right,
and look at what Arsenal has faced. Arsenal have faced way more harder opponents than Liverpool, than Manchester City. We faced Aston Villa, we faced Spurs, Newcastle, right?
Man City.
What am I forgetting? Man City, Liverpool themselves, right?
You played Man.
Out of all these matches, there's only one of those matches that we were at home against Liverpool. So we've had a very rough, we had the most difficult fixtures, and we are 7 points clear. Liverpool are
no sound, unfortunately.
Let's wait to the first Spurs. Let's wait to the first Aston Villa, and let's see what will happen. Newcastle.
Okay. So let's read a few of our comments whilst you fix your technical issue. We would like to see a picture again anyway. So some of the comments, there's a comment that says Arsenal had all the chance to sign a striker last summer, but decided to sign Mikel Merino. Why didn't you sign a striker? You have Gabriel Jesus. Yeah. He also goes on to say this guy was part of the depth City had. Yeah. So you spoke about the depth City had, and I think one of our followers is trying to say that this Gabriel Jesus you disregard was actually a part of the depth you claim City to have, and let's just bring him back on. Yeah. I mean, aside that, we also have Sterling. Yeah, Sterling. I mean, I know you laugh at the mention of his name, but Sterling has had a very stellar career, and probably better than all the players you have right now. So why is it that Arteta is not able to really bring out the best in him? But before you answer that, let me read this question. Let me read this comment by Marvin. Marvin says, there is no difference between Ten Hag and Arteta. But Josh Sapon also says, Arteta managing Barcelona, this job ain't easy like that. So you see, I know you speak about your players not being that level of quality, But look at the job Flick has done with that quality of players at Barcelona. A lot of academy boys, a lot of inexperience in there. But you see the kind of job he's beating Bayern Munich 4-1. He's beating Real Madrid 4-0. Destroying teams in one, back to back. So is it really a matter of the coaching, or is it really a matter of, the players not being good enough? But you're gonna answer that. But the next one is, let me read this question. Laughable optimism. Oh, I think he's talking about your optimism to win. This from Benny Ben. He says laughable optimism. They are as far from Liverpool as United are from them.
We are
Ooh.
far from Liverpool. Did you did he watch the match last week? Like, what is he saying? We are far from Liverpool. Oh my
Said you're
God.
as far from Liverpool as United are from them. That is
That's
that is that is
that's
some.
actually the funniest comment I've seen today. That's the most laughable comment. You said laughable optimism. That's the most laughable comment I've seen
But
today.
who knows if United is able to streak up some consistency, they might just be in a conversation again. Yeah, he's saying for us to look at the table. Yeah, United are about 10 points away, something like that, 10 or 12 points away. So it's not light years of a distance between you and United, Liverpool United, even though they are currently 13th. But yeah, he probably has a point in there somewhere. But yeah, coming back to you, why is it that Sterling? We know the kind of player he is. He's one of the players who scored over 100 goals in the Premier League.
Mhm.
Why you have him? And at the mention of his name, you laugh. What's going on?
I think Sterling has not been given as much opportunities to come on the pitch. Most often than not, when Ateta is making a change, he brings on Gabriel Jesus and leaves Sterling on the bench.
Right.
But during the Carabao match we had against Preston, Sterling was really good, really, really good. For some reason, when he comes in to play for us during the Premier League, he's not that good. I wouldn't say he's bad, but he's not. He hasn't. I think Ateta hasn't given him that chance to have more minutes in the Premier League to prove that he could actually do it.
Right.
So that's all I can say about Sterling. I don't want to say he's bad. I would say we haven't seen much of him in the Premier League yet.
Right. Yeah, because I say that because of you spoke about depth. And then when you're thinking about it, you have, players like Sterling rotting on the bench. So, I mean, that guy with some, small tactical tweaks could be injected into to the squad and could really do something good for the team, couldn't he?
I
So,
agree. Yeah, I
yeah.
agree with what you're saying. Ateta
Okay.
needs to trust much. Like Ateta needs to put trust in all his players. It's the same as Waneri rarely
Yes.
plays.
Yes.
Sterling rarely plays. Gabriel Jesus will be the one coming in and Sterling will be on the bench. It's just Ateta.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that comes back on Arteta, yeah? We give him until the end of the season, yeah?
When he wins the league, he'll win the EPL. Don't worry, he'll win the
I like the
EPL.
way you say when and not if. When he wins the
When?
league.
Oh yeah, he'll win it. He'll win it. City,
Oh,
City,
okay.
City don't have Rodri. We're getting Odegaard just this coming Saturday. Or this coming
But
Sunday. So
I'm beaten in like how many years? They've played. They've only lost one. They've only lost points in one game this season. They won every other game. Can you imagine?
which team are you talking about? Liverpool?
They've played. I'm not even talking just about the Premier League. I'm talking about all competitions. They've won every game they've played, with exception of that Nottingham game they lost at home. They've
Mm-hmm.
won everything.
They didn't beat Arsenal. Did they beat Arsenal? They didn't beat
Oh yeah,
Arsenal.
and yours. It was what 0-0, was it?
No,
Or
it
was it
was what 2-2, and we
2-2?
outplayed them.
Yeah.
They just had two glorious opportunities and got two
Didn't
goals.
play.
We
No, you
outplayed
did
them.
not play them.
We outplayed them. They 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 actually played against a handicapped Arsenal team, and they were outplayed. They were outclassed. I was surprised. I thought they were actually going to go at us, but they were so lost. Playing long balls to Salah, thinking Salah could do anything to Timber. Salah couldn't do anything to Timber. Well, we could have won that match if Gabriel didn't go off injured. That was the problem with that match. If Gabriel didn't go off injured, I'm very sure we would have won that match 3-1 or 4-1 easily.
Wow, I love the optimism though.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
easily.
last thing I'm going to ask you, and then we will call this a day or a night, is Jamie Carragher. Yeah,
Mhm.
has made some comments about your manager, and he said that your manager initially, everyone saw him to be a disciple of Pep Guardiola, and known to play this attractive, free-flowing tiki-taka football, which was quite evident last season and prior. But then this season, it appears that he's become more pragmatic and more, let's say, results oriented rather than style oriented. Yeah, and it's morphing more into a Mourinho-esque kind of manager. What do you make of that?
Okay, so I think I partially agree with Jamie Carragher, but one thing that he's got wrong is the fact that Arteta wasn't playing this way when Odegaard was fit. That's when I heard him speaking, and I was like, he wasn't playing this way when Odegaard was fit. We're not defending. We're more we're attacking. We're creating opportunities and so on. Jamie Carragher is forgetting that Odegaard is not there. So he can't play that way. He needs to get the goal, sit back, try and counter, sit back, try and counter. If Odegaard is there, he can get the ball, distribute it, come back, try and link play between attack and defense and so on. So that's the point I'm trying to make. However, I agree that one thing that makes Arteta different from Pep Guardiola is the fact that Arteta loves to defend more than Pep Guardiola loves to defend. That's very clear. It's evident. We bought Calafiori. I don't know why we bought Calafiori, but we bought him and he's really good. He's a really good defender. But that's what we have, like so many centre backs, Tomiyasu, Calafiori, White, Saliba, and so on. So I would agree that he's more defensive minded than Guardiola, but I wouldn't say he's more Mourinho than Guardiola. He's actually more Guardiola. He likes to have possession, but just that our star man is not there. Our creative midfielder is not there.
Oh, that's a very brilliantly brilliantly explained point. But then one would ask, does that mean that the entire style of a manager or the entire style of Arteta is predicated on the presence of one single player?
I wouldn't say one single player, but I would say a creative player. Once there's no creative player, we can't play the way we play because Saka doesn't get involved as much. Now, if you've noticed, or many people have noticed, Martinelli is getting the ball more than Saka because the one player who can find Saka is Odegaard, and Odegaard is missing. That's why many fans were calling for Nwaneri, because when Nwaneri plays a similar style of football as Odegaard. But I think Arteta thinks he's too young. He needs to get him in step by step and not rush him, and that's the problem we're having. But Odegaard is coming back, and Chelsea will see the wrath of Arsenal on Sunday. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay. I mean, I like that you're gonna win it this season because Patrice Evra did call you Netflix, so I was thinking gonna wait till next season. The next season, if it's not next season, you think you're gonna win it this season? Then
this season we win it for sure. We win it this season. Odegaard is coming back, and then the team will be like literally the whole team will be fit. And Chelsea, I feel for Chelsea. I'm actually feeling bad for Chelsea because honestly, Inter Milan, we're playing Inter Milan this Wednesday or this Tuesday. I know Odegaard will be on the bench, but against Chelsea, I'm very sure he will start. And boy, oh boy, Chelsea are in for a whooping, a big whooping. I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay. All right. Then we wish Arsenal the absolute best. Maybe we'll catch up after that match. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we indeed beat Chelsea, oh my God, I probably won't have ears to listen to all that noise. But
3-0, 4-1. 3-0 or 4-1. Yeah, Chelsea lose.
Against
3-0.
Chelsea?
Yeah, at the bridge. 3-0
wow.
or 4-1.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
That's okay. All right, guys. Thank you for watching and thank you for following. Thanks for your comments. This was our guest, Professor Jahaziel. We will catch up another time. Thanks for joining, Jahaziel.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed the discussion. Thanks for having me.
We will catch up next time. All right?
All right.
Okay. All the best then. Have a good evening. Adios.
All right. Bye.
Bye.